Here's our Eric having some fun. This is what happens when Eric faces off with nuclear prevaricators.
What are some of the lasting effects from that accident?
Well, you got to remember that this community is very conservative, very Republican, very Bible Belt, was overwhelmingly pro-nuclear prior to TMI. After TMI, the community felt betrayed by both the industry and the government. We now have a community that's anti-3 Mile Island and still feels the effects, because let's put things into perspective. 25 years later, TMI has not cleaned up.
Because of the earthquake protection of these facilities, they're very hardened to start out with, and with Department of Homeland Security and with other federal agencies looking at the careful process. But they are very safe right now for the aspects of terrorism as we look at it in the United States.
Ted, go ahead, Eric, quickly.
But that's not, no, but it's not true here. First of all, we had to sue the owners of TMI to have a reinforced containment structure in the 70s because the plant is located next to an airport. In 1993, an escaped mental patient drove his car through the front gate. They couldn't find him for 4 hours.
That was 20 years ago.
All right, a month after 9/11, at TMI, the plant was shut because of a terrorist threat. And if you look at the FOIA report, the operators didn't know what to do or how to handle the threat. In addition to that, we had a guy, a fisherman, who was drinking beer last year, wind up on the island and nobody could find him. Security has not improved.
It's just unreal, isn't it? The back door's wide open. Again, this is the southern gate. I think the gate should be closed. I think you should be challenged here. I think rather than put up the welcome mat, you should be telling people stay the f away.
I believe that nuclear energy in the 25 years since 3 Mile Island has increased the value of the plants, including 3 Mile Island, by over a factor of 10. And that energy source, along with renewables, solar, wind, clean coal, needs to be the basis for the future energy supply so that outages such as the August 14th outage last year that occurred on the East Coast don't continue to occur in the future.
Hey, can I make a brief point?
Go ahead.
Because I just want to share something with you. TMI is worth $600 million on Wall Street. You know, our county valued it at $69 million. Ted just said that it's worth 10 times more. TMI's owner said that their plant is worth $5 million. We're in court right now forcing TMI to pay their taxes.
Well, it's very safe, and I'd just like to make sure that the people recognize that for 25 years, the other unit at 3 Mile Island has provided stable, reliable electricity for the city the size of Philadelphia for over 25 years and is performing reliable, and no one was hurt at 3 Mile Island.
Right.
In fact, there was no cancer as shown by the National Cancer Institute.
No, that's not true.
Eric, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's a fantasy. This man is propagating a myth. For example, TMI-1 was shut down for 6.5 years. It's been operating for 19 years, not 25 years. This man needs to get his facts straight. Number two, every credible health study, beginning with the Columbia Health Study, the University of North Carolina study, and the Pittsburgh study, have found increased cancer. Now, what we have here, the issue is not if TMI caused cancer, but how much cancer. And we have found increased cancer. We have found cancer clusters in the direction where the fallout was. And, you know, I get irritated when people living in another area code tell me how safe it is to have a nuclear power plant in my backyard.
Well, I think it's important to recognize that the National Cancer Institute did provide the report in 1990 that resulted in that recognized no increase in cancer. And in 1995, the
information parsed out by the company is either inaccurate or purposely misleading.
Everything is under control. There is and was no danger to public health and safety.
You know, for the industry, one of the things that occurred is they couldn't believe that citizens had the audacity, the temerity to call into question their expertise.
I don't know why we need to tell you each and everything that we do.
That's what I remember creeping me out. Just the smugness, the arrogance.
The report in...
But wait, there's more.
In Harrisburg, by the courts, announced that
I mean, it's unconscionable that we are generating 30 metric tons of lethal waste a year that has nowhere to go. I mean, would you buy a house where the toilet fed into the front yard and the contractor said, I'll come back in 30 years?
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger! No, Will Robinson! Danger!
I'm sorry, the court case on increasing cancer in the local area was not recognized, was thrown out. And it's important for the people to recognize that that's not true for the local citizens in the area.
Well, I don't know who this guy is, but I mean, I represent the local citizens. This guy has to get his facts straight. First of all, 10 years after an accident, 1990, is not enough time to investigate radiogenic cancers.
We're going to move.
I disagree with, I wanted to say I disagree with Eric on the first case, which is the issue of demonstrated effects. I don't agree with the cancer results, and I think they've proven themselves both in court and in scientific evidence.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't know him from a used can of spray paint. But wait a minute. I live here, I work here, and tomorrow, after the 25th anniversary, we'll still be here.
And in 1995, the report in Harrisburg by the courts announced that the court